This line chart shows the payoff timeline for a standard 30-year mortgage, and it highlights a universal frustration for homeowners. For the first several years, your monthly payments are heavily front-loaded with interest. You write thousands of dollars in checks to the bank, and your actual principal balance barely moves. Enter velocity banking. If you spend enough time looking at personal finance videos online, you will eventually stumble across this strategy. Advocates claim you can wipe out a 30-year mortgage in 5 to 7 years without requiring you to earn a single extra penny of income. The premise sounds entirely counterintuitive. To execute this strategy, you have to destroy your existing debt by voluntarily taking on tens of thousands of dollars in new debt. To see how this actually works in practice, we set up a 30-day personal case study. We completely abandoned a standard checking account and managed every single dollar of incoming cash and outgoing expenses entirely out of a home equity line of credit, or HELOC. These next 30 days will determine if the math holds up. We are going to find out if this method is an elite hidden loophole used by institutional banks or a dangerous financial trap masquerading as a life hack. The logistical reality of day one feels completely wrong. The security of a checking account is gone. Every dollar you spend and receive is now flowing through an open line of credit. The system starts with a terrifying first step, known as the chunk. You borrow a massive lump sum from your new HELOC, often tens of thousands of dollars, and you drop it directly onto your primary mortgage principal. This bar chart shows the immediate mathematical win of that move. Because you dropped that large chunk directly onto the principal, the balance vanishes, and years' worth of future front-loaded interest is instantly wiped out. But executing that move carries an immediate psychological cost. You experience a severe spike in debt anxiety because you now owe a massive sum of money on a live, revolving credit line. On paper, your long-term mortgage timeline looks drastically better. In reality, you wake up every day feeling the daily weight of a high-balance credit line that requires constant management. This creates a daily operational problem. With all your liquid cash tied up in that new HELOC debt, you still need a way to manage your incoming income and buy your daily groceries. You solve this with a tactic called paycheck parking. Instead of depositing your income into a traditional bank account, you deposit your entire paycheck directly into the HELOC. This split-screen diagram shows why this works mathematically. A standard mortgage charges amortized interest calculated monthly on a fixed total, but a HELOC charges simple interest, and it calculates that interest every single day based on your fluctuating balance. Your paycheck deposit instantly forces the HELOC's average daily balance down. Because the bank calculates what you owe daily, leaving your paycheck parked in that account kills the interest the bank can charge you for those specific days. To keep your cash inside the HELOC as long as possible, you live on a 0% float. You put all your daily expenses on a credit card and then use the HELOC to pay that card off in full at the end of the month, right before any interest hits. As the month ends, the initial anxiety transforms into a form of gamification. You get a mathematical high from watching the numbers actively drop, driven entirely by your forced cash flow manipulation. The 30-day results are completely clear. The system technically works, and it accelerates the debt payoff exactly as the math promised. Yet there is no magic here. Velocity banking is an illusion created by a mechanism that forces you to apply 100% of your monthly cash surplus directly toward your debt. Making that mechanism work requires a structural risk. You have to trade a safe, predictable, fixed-rate mortgage for a highly volatile, variable-rate line of credit. If macroeconomic conditions shift, the risk multiplies. If interest rates unexpectedly spike, or a bank freezes your credit line during a recession, the entire system collapses, leaving you trapped with high-interest revolving debt. This racing graph shows the comparison between these two approaches. If you bypass the HELOC entirely and simply apply the exact same monthly cash surplus as extra payments to a traditional mortgage, you achieve almost the exact same payoff speed. Velocity banking is an effective tool for enforcing extreme financial discipline. But for the average person, it trades a slow, predictable financial burden for a high-stress, high-risk daily job.